Are you trying to do everything right to lose weight and improve your metabolic health, but find you're just coming up against roadblock after roadblock and you just can't seem to get a hold of it? Maybe sleep is your missing ingredient. You've probably heard all about how sleep can influence weight gain or lack of weight loss. It can do it by raising cortisol, raising certain hormones in your body, helping you become more insulin resistant, but also about how you make choices during the day. But how strong is the research? Well, we have a new research paper now lending even more credence to the importance of sleep in helping with healthy weight loss. I'm Dr. Brett Scher, the medical director at dietdoctor.com, and I really want to talk about this study because I think it's a well-designed and very interesting study. It's called Effective Sleep Extension on Objectively Assessed Energy Intake Among Adults with Overweight in Real-Life Settings, and it was published in JAMA Internal Medicine. Now, this is a single-center randomized controlled trial where they had 80 people, average age 30, and they were overweight with BMIs between 25 and 30. So younger group, overweight, not obese, not with type 2 diabetes or lots of other comorbidities, so certain population. But here's what's interesting. They were also all sleeping 6.5 hours or less per night. Okay, so what they did was they had a 2-week sort of baseline data gathering, and then after that, they randomized them to either having a sleep hygiene intervention, counseling, or just regular, continue what you're doing. But they wanted sort of the level of intervention to be the same. So they brought them back for the same number of visits. They had the same number of interactions, just one group without the coaching and one group didn't. And what happened? Well, here's what's really interesting. One, the coaching really worked. Every single person except for one in that coaching group improved their sleep. And the goal was to have their time in bed be 8.5 hours. And what they found was their actual sleep time increased by an average of 1.2 hours. That's pretty impressive. 1.2 hours is a lot of extra sleep. So to go from less than 6.5 hours to add 1.2 hours, so on average, it shows that the intervention was very good. But here's the other thing. Also on average, they ate 270 kilocalories per day less than the control group. So their intake went down. Now, it didn't go down 270 because the control group actually went up. But on average, the delta was 270 kilocalories per day in the better sleep group versus the control group. And their overall energy expenditure did not change, and they measured that with a doubly labeled water technique. So very good that they were actually measuring energy expenditure as well. So if your calories go down and your energy expenditure doesn't go up, then you have a net calorie negative. The diet didn't change. There was no nutritional counseling. There was no dietary change. There was no increased exercise. It was just sleep. And they were able to create a 270 calorie deficit based compared to the controls. So pretty impressive study for not much of an intervention. The intervention was counseling on sleep hygiene. And I think this is important because we talk a lot in the health sphere, we talk a lot about the importance of sleep on so many different levels. But it still, to me, seems like one of those things that's kind of poo-pooed, so to speak. Like, yeah, we know sleep is important, but you don't really really focus on it. And I see that in my patients. Look, I see it myself sometimes. I see it in colleagues and friends. It's just common in our society that sleep is not really prioritized. And the evidence is always, kind of like borderline quality evidence. But here we have a good randomized controlled trial, simple intervention, just some sleep hygiene counseling, increasing sleep time by 1.2 hours, with creating a calorie deficit without changing your food intake, and helping potentially with healthy weight loss and improving your health overall. So pretty dramatic from a small study, and I want to see more like this, and hopefully it will continue to further this discussion on sleep and the impact on our health, because you should sleep like your health depends on it, because it does. We'll see you next time here on Diet Doctor News on YouTube. Thanks a lot, everybody.